issue lies. Straight up busted on family ties. Super G supposedly what you claim.
Banging in Brooklyn, grinding in Greenpoint, doing work in Williamsburg, and occasionally making moves in Manhattan. We are Fight Fuel MMA, and this is our last installation of No Sleep Till 205. I am one half of your broadcast team, Dave Clifford, aka @FishyFridge on Twitter.
And I am Joy, @JoyGNY on Twitter.
And to get us pumped for 205's main event, Conor McGregor vs. Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight title, we are watching Conor McGregor's first fight in the UFC. UFC Fight Night on Fuel TV from Stockholm, Sweden. Mousasi vs. Latifi. This fight is Conor McGregor versus the Bama Beast, Marcus Brimage. First time we ever saw McGregor step foot into the octagon.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I've never seen this fight.
I have seen the fight, what there is of it.
It's a short fight, from what I understand. Very impressive debut for this guy. Terrible haircut.
I don't mind the haircut.
I don't
the
like
haircut's
his
okay.
haircut.
We're looking at the graphic they have up now, and it's a McGregor with no tattoos.
No tiger.
No tiger. And
no
this,
lion thing. What is it?
It's the ape with the... But this is the first time UFC fans who watch exclusively UFC, we're going to get to see Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. He was coming out of Ireland, a heavily touted prospect with a big left hand.
And a following.
Yeah.
A legit
he already
following.
had fans.
Yeah. So...
And they gave him Marcus Brimage, who was a bit of a hype killer back then. He was... Brimage is a tough fighter. Good fighter. Solid striker. Decent on the ground. And
5'4".
Yeah, 5'4". He was
with
still
a 71-inch reach.
He was still fighting in featherweight at this fight. He later dropped down to bantamweight. But this kind of highlights the story of McGregor's featherweight career. He was the taller fighter. He was the bigger fighter. The reach is not a huge issue here.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that that guy's
Brimage has some long arms.
Yeah.
But,
but
McGregor...
so does McGregor. McGregor has longer arms.
Yeah. But McGregor was, as he was used to doing, fighting a smaller man, and we didn't know what he was going to do. You know, this was his first fight. So without further ado, we're going to find out what he was going to do. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we need to just discuss that we're representing...
I mean, McGregor makes everybody want to dress with a little bit of flair.
Yeah.
I could only imagine what the funeral's going to look like after the Alvarez fight. Everybody's going to be in their Sunday best.
We're just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm actually looking forward to a very competitive fight.
Yeah, no, I really am really looking forward to it. All right, so McGregor is here. He's doing his little
warm-up dance
thing
in the cage, getting loose. Brimage is across the cage from him, stoically gazing at his opponent.
And I take it back, his hair actually doesn't look that bad.
No,
on
it looks
this.
okay.
Yeah. He did. I thought that this was the fight where he had that stupid ponytail thing.
No, this isn't the dreadlock man bun.
I hated that. Yeah, this
bad.
hairdo is fine.
This is fine.
I'm totally cool with it. But like that man bun thing.
That was no good.
Yeah, no good.
So Robert Sundell is going to be the third man in the cage. We have
a very
round
bouncy ring card girl.
Yeah,
hello.
she's into it.
I didn't even know who that was.
So the fight has started.
Yeah.
And
wow,
right
he's
away,
just dwarfing Brimage.
455, 454, 53, 52, 51, 50. And it's a striking battle right from the onset.
Yeah, very
both fighters come out aggressive.
Yes. He's completely dwarfed Brimage.
Yeah, much taller.
Yeah.
Brimage is looking to push the pace. He's taking it right to McGregor.
He still looks, comparatively, from his weigh-ins yesterday, he looks so skinny compared to
at 45,
what he looks like.
He looks very skinny.
I just don't think it's his weight class. I mean, back then, he's only 24 here, so it's not as bad as when he was cutting weight, for the Jose Aldo fight.
But he looks thin.
He looks thin, and I just don't think it's a healthy weight class for him.
No.
So, very excited to see him fight at lightweight, I gotta say.
And McGregor is...
Oh.
throwing
Brimage
bombs,
is
dropping Brimage.
down
It's over.
and
Just
out.
like that.
Oh
1
my
minute fight.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So McGregor,
Impressive, I have to say.
Yeah.
That little...
he fought this fight canted in. He was lent in on one side. He was throwing some really nice loose uppercuts, straight shots, decent kicking arsenal, and he just overwhelmed Brimage. I mean, Brimage was not trying to back down. He was pushing the pace until he got dropped, but that was a beautiful left uppercut, two of them.
Let me just say, okay, we're not the biggest McGregor fans, but
If you've watched the videos.
we get a lot of hate for it. But this is a very impressive debut. If I would have seen this debut, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd have a different opinion of him.
Who knows? Well, you
but
see
I don't know.
what
But that
happens.
was excellent. Well, his
Yeah,
gloating
he
is not.
He is flexing. He's
flexing
popping
right
the
now,
crab.
bro?
He's popping the crab.
It was just like
But look,
I should never make that face again.
we got a 1 minute fight. What we saw was McGregor being very accurate
He's flexing
with his
right
fights.
now,
He
though,
is
bro.
still flexing post fight.
Yeah,
Flexing.
flexing.
He could flex. He just dropped his
Absolutely.
guy
in
a minute.
1 minute, in 7 seconds. So, very impressive debut. That's why I think the UFC really rallied behind him the way they did. Can he keep this momentum? He kind of lost it a little bit with the Diaz one fight.
He dropped the Diaz fight, but then he took it back.
But he did. But his win, I don't think was that impressive. He really needs to come through with like an impressive KO of Alvarez, which I personally don't think is possible because Alvarez is real tough.
You know what I think has happened? McGregor has gotten so caught up in the character he has created for himself that at this point, you know what he's going to do. You know what he's going to say. That factor of what's going to happen when McGregor shows up is gone.
Yeah.
He's going to come out. He's going to be flashy. He's going to be loud.
Wear
cocky,
ridiculous clothes.
Wear some ridiculous clothes.
Little rock-esque.
But it almost overshadows what he is accomplishing in the cage.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to the beginning, what he's all about, he's a knockout machine of featherweight fighters. That was a very impressive performance. So, kudos to you, McGregor.
Right now, McGregor is at the point where if he takes this lightweight title from Alvarez, he's going to be one of a couple fighters holding titles in 2 divisions. He is going to be huge.
Yeah.
The problem is he's already huge. He's popped. His arc is all the way up. Even if he beats Alvarez, how much more hype can he create? What new wrinkle could he throw into his publicity game to keep people watching and buying pay-per-views at such a frenzied rate?
Yeah, that is the question. We're just going to have to find out tonight at UFC 205 to see what happens. Is Eddie Alvarez going to stop the hype train? Which he's more than capable of doing. Like, don't sleep on him.
No, you can't sleep on Alvarez. That guy is a vicious fighter in the cage.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their records, he's 28-4.
Yeah, Alvarez
and he climbed up the Bellator ladder.
He's one of these guys. He came out of Bellator, came into the UFC, and he had that rough start against Cowboy. He lost that fight.
But it's Cowboy, so
yeah, no shame
it's
in
okay
losing
to
to
lose to Cowboy.
But since that fight, he's been fighting really smart and doing what he has to do to get the W. If Alvarez goes in tonight and fights a grappling heavy fight,
which he is more than capable of.
Yeah, if he could keep McGregor against the cage or on the ground, Alvarez could very well win this fight. If McGregor could keep this fight at distance and keep it at standing exchanges, he's got a shot at winning too. I really don't know who's going to take it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very pumped to watch the fight. This goes back to what we're saying. His out-of-cage hype has overshadowed his in-cage performance, which is actually pretty impressive. Hopefully tonight we get a fight that lives up to the hype that he has put on outside of the cage. That's what I'm hoping for.
We're going to find out. This card, I mean, McGregor, Alvarez aside, the card stands on its own even without them.
Stacked.
You got Woodley versus Wonderboy. You got Janjacek versus
Kovalkiewicz.
Polish versus Polish.
You've got Frankie Edgar versus Jeremy Stevens. You have Alves versus Miller.
Tate versus Pennington.
The card is a monster card, and we got to send a shout out. We got Rafael Sapo Natal fighting Bosch. That is going to be a serious fight.
Every fight is a serious fight. Even though we lost 2 fights on the card and one became a catchweight, it doesn't fucking matter. This is a face melter of a card.
Yes, it is.
And hi, Weidman versus Romero.
Hell yeah, we nearly
with
forgot.
Sousa waiting in the wings, just in case. Did you guys hear that today?
In case one of the fighters falls out. Listen, it's a can't go wrong card. Watch it. We're going to watch it. We're going to have a video out to you Monday.
We're going to be filming as we watch.
And giving you a live, well, edited live breakdown. We're going to make ourselves look real good.
You don't want to watch it for 2 hours.
All right. We are going to sign off and go to work and come back ready to watch some fights and get you a breakdown. From Brooklyn, New York, signing off, the Fight Fuel MMA crew. We are out.
Nice. No Joe Rogan, no bright lights, no scorpions, and no snake bites. Let's rap bad niggas get stage fright.